All right. Yeah, baby. The Eagles, they got that big fish in the big pond. Alshon Jeffrey, baby. He's in Philadelphia now. You know, the blueprint to this offseason, it was really simple. Sign Alshon, draft a bunch of cornerbacks, and there you go. That's really all you need to do. James Worthington is here. I'm Adrian Fedque. Step one is complete. Alshon Jeffrey to the birds.
I couldn't be more happy, man. Alshon Jeffrey, I do believe in his talent, and I think that with this prove-it contract he has, as long as he stays healthy, he's going to be an absolute monster. I mean, think about Wentz's game. He likes to throw the ball up, and Jeffrey's one of the best 50-50 receivers in the business. So, I'm excited, man. I was walking out of work when they announced it right at 4 o'clock, and I couldn't contain myself.
Oh, I was rubbing my nipples outside. It was awesome. Like just for 5 minutes, just like, oh. It was amazing. It's amazing. It was unbelievable. So yeah, we got Alshon, and we'll see what happens, because at the end of the day, you got to re-sign him. You got to get him to. And sure, he said he wants to play with Wentz and all this stuff. He picked the Eagles over Sam Bradford. He picked the Birds over an extension there in Minnesota. But you know what? I never believe it until I see it. Jeremy Maclin said he was going to stay in Philadelphia. He ventured off to Kansas City. So that happened. DeMarco Murray, I'm sure he loved it when he came here initially to Philadelphia, but he didn't like it very much 6 months after he signed, did he? So we shall see what happens. I love that the contract, it's basically only $9.5 million hit against the cap. So Howie working his genius in terms of the contracts.
Yeah, I liked it a lot. It's low risk, high reward. I mean, I think a lot of him staying here depends on how he really meshes with Wentz from his perspective, because maybe if he doesn't mesh that well, he might want to get out. I think he's a big reason he came. But, if he gets injured, too, from the Eagles' perspective, they might not even want to re-sign him. Yeah. So, my fingers are crossed. I'm hoping for the best. I'm really hoping that he puts up some big numbers this year. And I think the other acquisition we made, Torrey Smith, works really well with him. So I think I'm excited to see what our offense shapes to be. I mean, they still got some more moves to make, obviously, but it's shaping up well.
Yeah, and it's very evident that Kenny Britt was the backup plan to Alshon Jeffrey. That's what that was. And it was funny because everyone got ahead of themselves with that Kenny Britt thing. He was in Atlantic City. He was making it rain. And, that's why you got to wait for the tampering period to just kind of play itself out. Just be a little patient, man. It's only 2 days. You only got to wait 48 hours. Jeez.
Yeah, and supposedly he was from somewhere around there too, I heard. So, I didn't even make much out of the AC thing, but it does make sense. If they were going for Brandon Cooks, he would have been good to pair with Kenny Britt, and that's Cooks would have been the A, Britt the B. They got Alshon Jeffrey, so they got a lesser speed guy who, I mean, I'm not the biggest Torrey Smith fan, but he's got speed, he's got size, and he was productive in Baltimore. So San Francisco's not exactly the best place for a receiver to be. So, I mean, I'm optimistic about him. But yeah, Kenny Britt, I'm very happy we didn't sign him. I think we would have overpaid for him, and I just don't trust him after one good productive season in St. Louis. It's LA now. And he had one good year in Tennessee too, right?
Yeah, it's funny because I was arguing with people. They're like, well, Kenny Britt is a low-cost option. I'm like, no, he's not. He's probably going to get near the same amount as Kenny Stills, and he literally got the same amount as Pryor and Stills. That's unfathomable. Oh, no, you got quiet on me. I don't know what happened. God damn it. All right, this shit's fucked up right now. Okay, I don't know if you're going to come back on or not. Unfortunately, you're only here till 7:15, so I don't know if we can just keep going with just me talking. Well, maybe you'll show up eventually. Yeah, you somehow muted. I don't know what happened. God damn it. We can't start this over because you got to go. So, all right, I'll just kind of go. And we'll see if you pick up volume eventually. Just keep talking. God. All right. Sorry, James. Yeah, I don't know what happened. But yo, you can log off if you want. I know you got to go. So I'm not gonna restart this. If you I just can't hear you. Okay. All right. So I guess I'll just kind of take this over myself. Okay, so Alshon Jeffrey, Kenny Britt, Torrey Smith. I initially hated the Torrey Smith signing. I hated it like vigorously because I thought he was going to get paired with Kenny Britt, and that would have been very, very disappointing if things were in Torrey Smith, and I didn't like that at all. Torrey Smith ranked 114 out of 115 wide receivers on Pro Football Focus's list. Nelson Aguilar was 115, and Dorial Green Beckham was also in the sub 100s. So there's that. Now, I think the situation in San Francisco hindered Torrey Smith greatly. I by no means think that Torrey Smith is worse than Nelson Aguilar. We'll see. He's still 28 years old. I'm sure he's still got some bursts left. He's going to be the deep vertical threat. You pair him along with Britt. That's a pretty nice combo. Now, it remains to be seen whether or not the Eagles have a steal here in Torrey Smith. Is he going to, produce like he did in Baltimore? Can he be the wide receiver steal here like Malcolm Jenkins was a couple years ago? Everybody wanted Jarris Byrd. Eagles signed Jenkins, and now Bird's not even on the Saints anymore. So we'll see how everything plays itself out. Now, let's move on to cornerback because there was a pretty significant injury over the weekend. Sidney Jones ruptured his Achilles during his pro day. So this hurts the Eagles in the draft because now that they have Jeffrey, now that they signed Torrey Smith, there should definitely be a heavy focus on cornerback in the NFL draft. And there obviously will be. But the injury to Sidney Jones, we'll see what kind of options are there in the first round now, because I don't think Marshawn Lattimore is making it to 14. I don't think Sidney Jones now, they're not going to take him at 14.
No, I'm back.
Dave's is back.
Yeah, I came up on my cell phone, man.
Nice. You're back. All right. So I was just all right. So I went through the receivers. We're talking cornerbacks now. And I was just talking about how Sidney Jones's injury impacts the first round now. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, man. I was actually really looking for him at 14. I really like Sidney Jones, but he tore his Achilles, and that's not an injury even that a lot of guys come back from. I'm not saying he can't, but that's a dangerous one, especially as a corner. So, I mean, I think the conversation now with him turns, is he available in the second? And if he is that what you want to look at? I think, it really moves a lot of the corners up, and I'm not sure how it's going to shake out with the draft. A lot of teams might think they can wait on him, or they might get scared thinking there's going to be a run of them. I'm seeing anywhere like from the first one going pick 4 to pick like 20. So I don't know. I mean, I know there's a lot of talented guys in the group.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll have to see how it shakes out.
Yeah. I'm interested to see what they do if Dalvin Cook gets selected. Because if Dalvin Cook gets selected, all of a sudden that running back is off the board. I would think Fournette is gone too. So your running backs are gone. Are you really going to really overspend for a cornerback? Maybe they could trade back if they wanted to. Say you like a cornerback late first round, they could do that. But the other thing is those wideouts. Do you take a wideout? No, you take one of these guys like Mike Williams, Corey Davis, John Ross. Do you go that route?
Can you hear me? I think I might have lost connection. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Good.
There you go.
Yeah, I think that, if Corey Davis or Mike Williams is there, I think you really got to consider him. I actually think John Ross is going to be a bust. I don't know why. I have a weird feeling about him. I don't know if it's just because of small speed receivers, how I've seen a lot bust out, but I'm not sold on Ross. I think if Williams or Davis is there, I'd take him, and I'm highest on Davis out of the two.
I do like Mike Williams, but Mike Williams is a lot like Jeffrey. So you'd be getting a similar type of receiver, a guy that's going to go up and get it. He's got strong hands too. I mean, if you watch the video that Brendan and I did, and just watch him go through, what do you call that drill? The gauntlet, and you compare his hands to everyone else. The way he just effortlessly plucks it out of the hand, and Brendan was saying something about, I forget how he explained this, but like. You can really tell, like, revolutions of the ball when you catch it. And he's like, if you don't see any revolutions, that's disgusting. And that's like what Mike Williams has. When he catches that ball, it's like hitting concrete.
That's awesome. Yeah, I think he's going to be a receiver in the league. But yeah, like you said in the beginning, I mean, I don't think he'd pair up well with Jeffrey. I think with Mike Williams, it really just comes down to if he's going to be able to get separation, or he might be so good he might not even need it.
Yeah, no, so, and that's how Jeffrey is. He doesn't need much separation. Yeah. He's going to out physical you. He's going to box you out.
Yeah, that's why I'm so excited about him, man. I mean, it's weird how the Eagles keep me hyped throughout the offseason, 9 months or 8 months of like no football really, and I'm still waking up excited during this. Man, it's great.
Yeah, for real. Now, I don't know if I've made it in front of you. So Jeffrey is a guy, if you extend him for like 4 to 5 years, I think he's a guy that can still play at a high level at a high age because of the way he plays. He's not a guy that you need speed. He's not a speed quick out of that. How physical you. He's like an Anquan Bolden. And big dudes like that produce when they're older. Vincent Jackson's another example. He's still producing. So Jeffrey at like 32, 33 years old, I still think he's still going to be pretty productive. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I definitely do. I mean, obviously, going back to the main question mark with him is injuries, and the older you get, the more often they do.
That's the problem.
But I do think the style of play does translate into a longer career. I mean, he doesn't predicate his game on speed. It's just going up and getting the ball. It's decent route running, and it's just physicality. So, I mean, he could end up being like a Brandon Marshall type, just productive into his 30s. I know he had a rough season last year, but I think he's going to bounce back with the old Eli there.
Yeah. All right, let's get back to the cornerbacks just really quick because this is reminding me of 2004 when the Eagles revamped their secondary. They moved on from Troy Vincent, from Bobby Taylor. So 2004, first round, Lito Shepherd. Second round, Sheldon Brown. Second round, Michael Lewis. So they doubled up on cornerbacks. That's how they built their secondary during the Andy Reid era. And I'm looking at the same thing again, especially the depth at cornerback. Even with the injury to Sidney Jones, you're still going to get guys in the third or fourth round with second-round value. And this is the draft to really stock up on cornerbacks. And not only do I think the Eagles are going to take 2, 3 cornerbacks.
Yeah, I mean, this is a time to do it. It really is a good time for this draft class to come in with the Eagles' needs. Receiver, running back, corner. It's deep with all of them. Say if there's a corner there you have to take him in the first round. I mean, whether it's Humphrey, if Lattimore falls to us, anyone. I think probably first 2 rounds. I wouldn't go into the draft with a position in mind. I'd say best player available.
Yeah.
In the realms of reality, like they're not going to draft a quarterback, but I say corner has got to be your number 1 and 2 needs. Your first 2 corners. I think. It's a shame what happened with Jones. Like I said earlier, I think they're going to maybe look Humphrey's way now. But the thing they really do need to watch is Humphrey ran, I think, a pretty solid 40 for his size. But the thing that translates is that quick twitch reaction of the hips. And that's what they find. They can't get obsessed with these 40 times and everything like that. It's really, I think, tape speaks more for a corner level of competition. And it'll be interesting if they hold private workouts with anybody.
Yeah, at cornerback, the drill that I love at the combine is the one where I don't know what it's called, but the pedal, they make you flip your hips twice, and then they make you go get an interception too.
Yeah,
so I love that drill. That drill exposes weaknesses, and I love. Yeah, that's the drill to watch, not the 40.
Yeah, no, I agree with you there, and that's a good point. I forgot about that drill because that definitely shows exactly what I was just talking about.
Yep, the quick twitch, all that stuff. Absolutely. I saw it in Ronald Darby, man. I remember a couple years ago, I'm like, dude, that's by far the smoothest drill I've seen. And he goes out and he kills it. So the combine, it can produce if you watch it properly. Not everybody is a combine wonder. Or times we're going to go really quick through these last couple topics because I know you got to leave in 10 minutes. So we're going to talk Chance Warmack. he got signed, taking a chance on him. 1 year, $1.5 million contract. Extended Stefan Wisniewski. So you now have a backup center, and Isaac Sayamalo can play center as well. So the question for you is, are Jason Kelce's days numbered in Philadelphia?
I know Howie came out and said they weren't, but they have to be. It really makes no sense why they're going to keep him. Supposedly they love Samalo at center. If he doesn't pan out, Wisniewski can play center. And I absolutely love the Chance Warmack signing. It's low risk. Guy was an absolute monster at Alabama, teaming him up with his old coach. I think he's going to get the best out of him. I look for Warmack to play really well, and I hope we can re-sign him after this year because that's another one that might want to go get more money elsewhere if we can't afford him.
Yeah, and that'd be great if he breaks out because Alan Barbery is 33 years old now. So you're going to have to place him pretty soon. And hopefully Warmack, if he does – like anything. I mean, this is a former top 10 pick. He's getting $1.5 million. So, we'll see. I'm really interested to see what he brings to the table because is there potential there or is he another DGB and he's just going to come here and stink?
Yep. I'm excited to see. We'll have to see the training camp battle and see who emerges as a starter. I think they brought him in hopes that he'd beat out Barbery. So my fingers are crossed with that as well, man. Looking good, man. I think. Looking good for.
We will win 9-10 games. We'll see. Let's talk.
A good goal.
Did you just say 12?
No, I said that's a good goal.
Oh, okay. 12, man, you're drunk, bro.
I'm
Those didn't come yet. You're
2018.
Okay. Nick Foles, Chase Daniel. Let's talk about that. Nick Foles signs. He's back with the Birds. I'll take him over Chase Daniel any day.
Oh, of course. And I know they just cut him. I don't know what implications that has with our cap. I don't know if we save money. But, I'll take Foles over Daniel any day. Foles is bigger. I think he's more capable of coming in and, playing a few games, not doing terrible. Chase Daniel would have gotten killed out there.
Yeah, I don't know what let me see what the cap, like $7 million, right, for this year?
Yeah, I think he's $6 million in dead cap space. I might have read that somewhere, but I don't remember.
Yeah, this is $7 million. So
yeah, I know he was $7 million. I don't know what it counts against the cap cutting him. I'm not sure.
$1 million by cutting him.
Yeah,
I don't know if anyone's seen that yet. I haven't seen it yet. So we basically just got home and
I saw it. McLean had it, and someone else had it, and Jeff McLean's usually right.
Yeah.
Okay. So.
All right. Now, last thing on the menu before you head out, we got this rumored trade that I think is bullshit. I don't believe it for a second. Malcolm Jenkins and a second-round pick for Brandon Cooks. Get the fuck out of here. That wasn't true.
Yeah, I don't know if it's true or not. I know I'm glad the Eagles didn't do it. I'll tell you that. I mean, especially the leadership he brings to this young defense. And who knows, man? I mean, I love Cooks. I'm the biggest fan of Cooks you'll find. I think he's a phenomenal player. But I mean, like you said before, the Patriots gave up their first-round pick, basically an early second-rounder. I mean, we're not going to give up one of our best defensive players and a top, I think, 45 pick.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Our second-round pick isn't that far off from the Patriots' first-rounder, honestly.
Yeah,
probably,
exactly.
10 pick difference? It's not that much.
10 spots, something like that. I think we're 43.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't believe that trade. Just like I don't believe – I never believe the Romo to Washington and Cousins to San Francisco and Dallas was going to get the second overall pick. I didn't believe that.
The Redskins, they absolutely scoffed at that. So if it was real, leads me to think it wasn't real at all because of how that's just a terrible deal. I don't get it. He's gonna Romo ain't gonna land anywhere. Supposedly Fox's broadcaster spot. It's gonna be between him and Chip Kelly.
And Chip?
Yeah. So
Chip
either way, Eagles fans lose.
Hey, I like Chip though. You remember that?
I know you like Chip, but I don't want to see the guy who took away all our good players on my freaking TV every weekend.
It makes me laugh. Chip makes me laugh.
Plus, he hated the media, so it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. All right. He does hate, yeah. That's about it. Yeah, we didn't really go into anything in depth because I know you got to go. So, what did we miss? Connor Barwin released. Anything else?
Yeah, Barwin released, and everybody loved him. Class act. Glad he got that standing ovation at the Maxwell Awards thing. Kind of his last public appearance here. So, I mean, that was awesome to see that we actually were classy as a city. Hopefully, he signs on with a 3-4 defense, and I wish him the best. And then I don't know, man. Running backs wise, you think we're gonna draft a running back? Who do you like for us? I kind of like
fucking Dalvin Cook.
Dalvin Cook. I see that 40 time scares me a little bit. I just said don't get obsessed with the 40 time, and I know Dalvin Cook plays fast, but I thought he'd run in the mid 4.4s.
Yeah.
I mean, and he's only 200 pounds or 205 pounds. Like
he's quicker than fast.
Yeah. I mean, I think 14. We'll see how the draft falls on.
I hear you though, because I agree. I thought he was going to run like mid 4.4, and the fact that he basically ran the same time as Leonard Fournette's kind of.
Caffrey was second faster. So yeah, I mean,
I think I'm racist because I just like he's a white running back. I just can't get behind it.
I don't really. I think McCaffrey's like a situational player at 15.
Yeah, I believe you. Yeah, like he was a 3-down back at Stanford. He was solid between the tackles, but this is the NFL now.
Yeah. I mean, you'll see him line up in the slot a lot. I mean, I think best case scenario for him is like a B. Westbrook type player. I don't think he's going to be that good, but like utilized in a similar way. And another guy I keep on my radar. If he falls with somehow, I'd be fine. What I just slipped. Oh, Reuben Foster. I would be completely fine with Reuben Foster. Kick Hicks to the weak side, keep him on the field in the nickel packages. That because I think Reuben Foster is going to be a monster in this league.
Yeah, I wouldn't hate that.
Yeah,
dude, there's going to be a player at 14 that don't be surprised if we take, and like Philadelphia's going to hate it.
Yeah, no.
Like, oh, we need a cornerback. We need this. Like, we might get an edge rusher at 14.
That's what I've heard a couple people talking about. And, I wouldn't be surprised. The Eagles don't usually do what you expect in the draft. Last year's draft turned out pretty well. So we'll see what happens. I mean, obviously the Wentz thing was different, but we got value out of Samalu and Big V, and that was pretty impressive to me. Like Big V, the 5th round pick, coming in and starting. Besides that one game, played pretty damn good. So with Joe Douglas in there, I've got faith in him, and I'm an optimistic Eagles fan. So I think I'm hoping for the best. I'm expecting that whoever we take at 14 will be a good pick. I think we will have a solid draft as long as Howie lets Joe Douglas do his thing.
As long as they keep letting Howie do what he's doing right now, it's funny because he's getting a lot of praise, and basically he's the team's bitch. That's what he is right now. Basically, they're telling him who to sign. Like it's very evident they're telling him who to sign because all the guys that they keep bringing in have ties to the coaching staff. So these coaches are telling him who to bring in. So all he's doing is just working the contract and working trades, and that's it. And that's exactly what I want Howie to do. They're really it's a collaboration here.
Great, and that's how good organizations in any aspect of life function efficiently is, working together in a good harmony. Like if they've got a good system going, Howie's working these contracts, doing his magic, doesn't have to worry about player evaluation and just trust people in place. That's awesome. That's what I want. We don't want Howie evaluating players.
That's been my whole thing with him this entire time was his player evaluation skills. If you take that away, I don't mind Howie. If he's just working contracts and trades, hey, he's great at that. He's top of the league at that. He's top notch. But when it comes to player evaluations, he's shit. So just let Joe do that. Let the coaching staff pick the free agents and just let him be the team's bitch. That's fine.
The one thing he did do, like last year, like the Wentz thing, he did evaluate him. But I also wonder how much Doug Peterson might have had with that, and some other guys that underneath Howie Roseman player had to do with that. Because I know Doug, as an ex-quarterback, really was involved in at least the interviewing process and the evaluation process of Wentz. So that I'll give Howie, but in the past, it speaks for himself. He's made too many bad judgment calls with player evaluations.
Yeah, and the report, whether the report was true or not, Peterson said, he wanted the Eagles to do everything they could to trade up and get Carson Wentz, and that's what they did, obviously. All right, Just one final point before we go. I forget to mention, obviously with the Eagles bringing in potentially an influx of young cornerbacks, I would think they still got to sign a corner or two in free agency, just like two guys like Carroll and McKelvin again, just to get through a year before you really hand over the reins to the young guys.
Yeah, definitely. I know you didn't mean it as like actual players because obviously you're not going to re-sign McKelvin, but I did see the Cowboys sign Nolan Carroll.
Yeah.
I get to boo him when they come back to Philly, and I can't wait. But yeah, I think we should sign one low-cost guy, a name I've heard tossed around. I don't remember. Kayvon Webster, maybe the Denver guy.
Oh, Denver guy. Yeah. That's dude. I wouldn't hate that at
Yeah,
all.
heard his name tossed around. I mean, he'll be cheap, so someone like that. Bring him in case one of these rookies isn't ready to play right away. We'll see, but yeah, I definitely agree with you there.
Yeah, and I'm glad they stayed away from all the big name free agents with the depth at cornerback in this draft. There was no reason to go after a guy like AJ Boye or something. So I think he got vastly overpaid. So that's just me.
I agree, and we both liked Boye during the playoffs, but huge contract, a huge contract, and it's too many times with corners we've had these big name guys coming in and just basically shit in the bed, and I didn't want to see him overpay a corner. I just didn't want to see it. So yeah, I'm really glad they didn't do that. I agree with you there too.
All right. We'll end this now. I know you got to go. So normally we do final thoughts, but we'll let you go. So enjoy, and that's about it. So actually, you know what? If you have anything to say, you can say it.
Nah, nothing really, man. I'm just looking forward to the future. I'm really excited to see how Wentz progresses next year, and I hope he gets with these new receivers and starts working with them. I liked, basically him shouting them out on Twitter and stuff. And I think Torrey Smith said like he came here because Wentz just has that demeanor of a leader, future MVP. That's awesome. I mean, the NFL players think that. That's great. I'm more optimistic about us now. Well, I guess since Chip Kelly's year one, but we all know how that turned out. So.
All right. That about wraps it up. That's James Worthington. I'm Adrian Fedque. We're gonna do an NCAA tournament preview show at some point, hopefully, because Brendan wanted to do something. I don't know who we're gonna get involved in it, but James, would you want to do that? Maybe we'll do like a huge show.
Potentially, yeah. I'm definitely in my bracket filling mode. So I mean, yeah, I'm really excited. It's my favorite time of the year.
Maybe we'll even do that tomorrow night. I don't know. I'll text Brendan. I'll text Brendan right after the show.
Nice.
What's that?
I took off for it, so I'm freaking watching all the games, man.
You took off for it.
Yep. 4-day weekend.
Oh, dude, I really love the opening weekend of the NCAA tournament, but I know you got to go, so I'm not gonna. Dude, I can go on for 5 minutes right now, so I'll let you go. That's James Worthington. I'm Adrian Fedque. We're out. Let us know in the comment section below what you guys think of the moves. So that's it from us. Peace.